Hey, Craig, let's get into some coffee talk.
Hey, I love it. I love doing some coffee talk.
Well, talk about what?
Dogs, daughters, whatever. It's coffee talk.
Coffee talk. Hello, Mr. Craig. Oh, it's time for water bottle talk.
Water bottle talk. I don't even have a bottle.
Oh,
I have a jar.
so Craig, dude, today has been nuts.
Nuts.
Am I wrong?
No, my friend, Mr. Jason, you're right.
So the dudes, the insurance dudes, have a lot going on, a lot of services that we're connecting agents with.
Yes.
And so we've been working on this nonstop. It's been crazy. So we started this a couple months ago, or maybe even a month ago. Yeah, like a month ago. Wow.
Is it really a month?
Yeah.
I've aged another 15 decades.
But what I wanted to talk about was the fact that we started doing providing some services and stuff for agents or connecting services with agents, and we had kind of a framework that we just had to go back and redo, which is what is taking so much time from us right now. But it just shows the importance of frameworks, right, Mr. Craig? How many times have I said that within the last couple of weeks?
All day, every day.
And it's really to button up these processes to, like, I spend so much time. I feel like I spend all my time, all day, every day, trying to figure out how to do stuff in less time.
Yep. Because can you ever get your time back?
No, but that's why I spend all my time. But it's like I honestly like doing it. Like that's my thing that I do. So doing that, we're just coming back with all these frameworks to make things easier, smoother, so you don't have to think. It's just a process. This is the way it's done. And that's how we do it in the agency. That's how we're doing it behind the scenes with the iDudes. And
this is how we do it.
Ooh, it's Friday night and I don't know.
Anna.
Good, Mr. Craig.
Anna. Yeah.
You got some pipes, sir. But yeah, like going back to the agency thing, and I just talked to an agent today, and it's just so crazy that we don't have a lot of those processes. We need to know, what do we do? Where are we getting our lead sources? What are we doing with those leads? What post that? How many times are we calling? How many times? Like, what is the funnel from A to Z, and how do we recycle those? And then once they're in the agency, how do we cross-sell and do all that stuff? And it cannot be, it can't be a free-for-all. Like, you have to have a system. What happens when a system is set in place? Everybody knows what to do. You can measure whether or not things are working or not working.
I can measure.
Things can't be. How many times, Craig, in the past, I know you felt this way. I have too. How many times you come into your agency and you're like, oh, I hope we're going to sell a lot today. I hope we're going to do good. At the end of the day, wow, we were busy, but we really didn't get much done. Like, we didn't sell a lot. But what did you do? Oh, I don't know. Then you talk to your sales agent. Yeah, you talk to your agents, not even sales agents. This is, hybrid, whatever. You talk to your agents. Oh, this person took up so much time. I wasn't able to do this because of this.
It took me 2 hours to do this one payment.
Right. Right. Because there wasn't any processes, there's no way to say, well, Sally, you should have done this amount of work, or did you make this many dials, or whatever it may be. There's no way to check. So she says, yeah, I made a ton of calls today, and I talked to all these clients, and this happened because of this. And it's like, you can't say, like, well, what you did was crap, right? That doesn't work very well.
Well, because you've orchestrated the crap. I mean, you've created the crap. I mean, if there isn't a bunch of stuff to do, like, think of a restaurant. We both worked in restaurants, right? Like, there was the stuff that you did, and then there was the side work, Remember the side
Right.
work? Like, so you had to
Yes.
marry the ketchups, you had to clean all the salt and peppers and whatever. There was always all these little things that had to be done. And it's
Yes.
amazing that somehow restaurants have it better than agencies. Like, we don't have the side work. We don't have we need to send out these mailers on Tuesdays, or we need to do this. Like, imagine how much smoother everything would work if all that was done. And instead of somebody saying, I made a ton of calls today. Well, what the hell does a ton of calls mean? To some people, that's 10.
Right.
And to some people, that's 700. So
Right.
that's a pretty wide variation, right? So we
You
got
bring
to
up
have
a good point.
Yeah. Well,
Too,
that's
is
what
that
I try
without
to
that
do.
side work, would restaurants be able to be busy with all the moving parts of a restaurant?
Huh. Oh,
That
let me
is-
go marry the ketchups right now real quick while we're slammed.
Yep. That is so much more of a complicated process than an agency. But an agency doesn't get that much done. A lot of agencies don't get that much done because there is no process.
Mhm.
So imagine with something that's actually less complicated than a restaurant, I believe. I mean, overall.
Yeah, there's
with
no
the amount of
inventory.
customers
Like, think of
that come in.
inventory, big staff,
Yeah.
all
Turnover.
different
Yeah.
pays, turnover, training.
All that stuff. Yeah. So we have something that's less complicated, but we're getting less done. So it just goes to show some of the inefficiencies. And if we just make it a process for everything, everybody's happier. You come in, okay, got to do X, Y, Z. Once that's done, I'm good. Like, that's it.
And it comes from the top. The fish will rot from the head, right? As gross as that sounds, but it's true.
Ooh,
If
never heard
if
that.
if the leader doesn't have these things and hold people accountable to them, then it is a free for all. And Sally or Jimmy, I'll say Jim. Hang on, so Jimmy over here. Jimmy says, I was super busy. What'd you do, Jimmy? Like, busy does not equal effective, right? To me, it's like if somebody says, I was super busy, I say, well, how many quotes did you do? That's it. Because at the end of the day, the only metric that I care about is how many quotes they did, because that's going to lead to the sales, right? And if it doesn't, then we know that, there's a training issue. This guy can't close because we haven't gone through the proper steps.
I love it.
As long as you create the systems, then it's easy to identify where the deficiencies are.
But Craig, our agency's always busy. When are we going to have time to create those systems?
Well, guess what? You better work at night and on the weekend to get it done, instead of working at night and on the weekend, answering the phone so you can always be available. Always be available.
And I would almost argue.
Can you imagine if the doctor was always available?
Right. I would almost argue, let a few people slip. Like, what's the worst thing that happened, even if you didn't really help anyone for a week? What's the worst that would happen? I'm just saying, I'm being devil's advocate here. I'm not condoning that. Okay, how many people? How many people would leave, or you call them next week?
5.
Okay. So would it be worth 5 people to be able, for the rest of the year, do double the amount of work?
Yes.
Okay.
But I would not condone that.
No. So maybe if we just took a couple hours during the day to do this, during the workout, I'm not telling you to work extra hours. I'm actually telling you to work the same amount of hours and just maybe take out 2 hours where somebody else is watching the phones or whatever, so that you can do this process. Just do it. Map it out. Map out your processes. Yeah. And
it's like what we did
your
today.
Time for the rest of the year.
Right. So before it was just the telemarketer business. Then it's the leads. Then it's the set them up with the right system. So it became too much. And then so we had to sit down here. We had to map it all out. If we didn't map it out, it becomes chaos. I remember Laura Harris saying it on one of the previous ones. If you cannot scale chaos.
Nope.
Right. And we're at the point where we said, time out. We have the best problem ever. We have too many prospects and too many clients, right? So now we're like, time out. We're not going to take any more revenue because we need to get our house in order first before we open the door and the Vikings come running in and get all their telemarketers.
Love it.
Yeah.
So going forward, let's just take time to make time.
Ooh,
that's the title, Mr. Craig.
Take time to make some time.
I think that's a coffee talk.
It's a coffee talk, water bottle talk in a water bottle.
Water bottle. Water bottle
All right.
talk.
Water bottle talk. Water bottle talk.
All right, Mr. Craig.
See you next time, Mr. Jason.
Hey, you've got to check out the Insurance Dudes Inner Circle coming soon, where you get extended interviews as well as live coffee talks in our private Facebook group. Join the mailing list today at theinsurancedudespodcast.com. Hey, thanks for checking out the Insurance Dudes. Hey, please subscribe. We got some really great stuff coming out.